Hello everyone, I have some additions to the movie and TV collection to show today. First off, we have a Peter Sellers movie that I've never seen before, which is always a treat. He's done so many movies and the quality varies so widely. He's my favorite actor, but he's done some real garbage and some real classics. You never know. So I'm very curious to see what this one is like. The reviews have been very mixed that I've looked at. People seem to either love it or hate it, but it has never let go. And in this one, Peter Sellers is the leader of a gang of auto thieves, and so it's one of the more dramatic roles that he's done, and he is more of a villain in this one, so a little more unusual. He does really great dramatic roles. He's very much more known for the comedy, but he can pull off some really good dramatic performances, so I'm curious to see how this one plays out, because even in those, being a little more on the side of a villain is not really typical for him, so I'm curious to see how that turns out. I'm really looking forward to that one. And then we have the Inspector Clouseau with Alan Arkin. I've never owned a copy of this movie. It's one of the few Pink Panther movies that does not star Peter Sellers. This one is right after the first movie and before Shot in the Dark. We have Alan Arkin taking over the role of Inspector Clouseau, and you also don't have Blake Edwards directing, because at the time Blake Edwards was directing Peter Sellers in The Party. So they were together working on that, which is the much better film. This was a huge misstep. I mean, Alan Arkin tries, but nothing about it works. It was enjoyable to watch it once. It was like a curiosity, and it's definitely one to hold on to for the collection. I'll probably check out again, like years down the road, just as an interest piece and something that's very different. The big problem with it is that it completely lacks the energy of the better Pink Panther movies. One, Alan Arkin, while not one of my favorite actors, is not a bad actor. He just does a really bad job in this movie and does not pull the character of Inspector Clouseau together at all. The physical comedy, even the little verbal things, like just nothing about his interaction throughout any of the movie is funny. Like, it's just very bland. And the other thing too, without Blake Edwards directing, I forget who directed this one, Bud Yorkin directed this one, and it just feels very flat and monotone. There are scenes that should feel frantic and should feel like ridiculous and absurd, and they just kind of feel slow and dull, and it's just not the right tone. The whole movie kind of has that feeling. It has an interesting, completely absurd premise of a series of robberies and an interesting thing involving stowing away the money in candy wrappers and like a shipment of candy, and this whole complicated thing that is completely absurd, but could have worked. The absurdity could actually have benefited the movie with the right director and the right lead in place. So it's one of those things that is a curiosity. It just didn't have either of those. It was a huge missed opportunity. Not a great movie, but definitely one that if you've not seen it and you're a fan of the Pink Panther movies, it's worth checking out for curiosity. It's not even as good as something like Son of the Pink Panther or Curse of the Pink Panther, neither of which are super great, but even those are better than this. It's just not a great movie, but it is interesting in its own right as a fan of that series. Moving on then to Blu-ray, a TV series that I just found out about, I don't know, a couple of months ago, like not less under a year ago, and it's already been through 3 seasons, and a 4th season I believe is going into production, and it looked interesting because it's a time period I'm interested in, and it's a German television series. We have Babylon Berlin. This is the season 1 and 2 set, and the season 3 set. Very excited that Kino Lorber released it in the US. So really cool. All 3 seasons that have been made so far of the series, and it is a thriller with a bit of noir elements in it, taking place in 1929 in Berlin. It looks absolutely fantastic. I've looked up a lot about it because I just kept getting more and more like, what is this? So I don't know, some preview or something, or maybe someone picked up the DVD. Don't remember how I first heard about it, but I started looking more into it. I'm like, I really think I'd like this. It looks awesome. It looks right up my alley. It looks like a really well done production. And it's extra cool because it is very rare for a German television production to get any kind of press, any kind of excitement outside of that realm. Like, you really don't in the US, very infrequently. Sometimes maybe a movie or something will come across, but the US in general, the sort of general mindset that has been established is, oh, it has subtitles. I'm not really that interested, which is really sad because people miss out on like some of the best movies and TVs and series in the world. But Germany in particular, it's very rare that a German TV series kind of gets any you know popularity in the U.S. The last thing I can think of was the miniseries Generation War. That's the last thing that I can think of, and yeah, it's always like a World War II type thing that tends to at least get some attention. So it's very exciting in that regard as well, that being able to have some more international things and a German production that looks really, really cool, because you don't get a lot of German TV at all available in the U.S. Last thing is a more modern movie, a couple of modern productions here, which is for Amanda and I is not as particularly common as a lot much older stuff, but a movie that I really wanted to enjoy. Amanda, when I said I really wanted to see this movie, is like, really? She didn't care, no interest at all. But I thought it looked like just a fun thriller. Just nothing super spectacular, but just a fun thriller, and an actress who I like, and it turned out to be that way. I watched it the other night. I still have to watch the extra features, just picked it up. But we have Those Who Wish Me Dead with Angelina Jolie, and I liked the premise of it. I occasionally like just a fun thriller. It doesn't have to be mind-blowing or classic or anything. Something else that comes to mind that I watched recently was a Flight Plan with Jodie Foster. I really liked that. It wasn't, some of the twists were pretty obvious, and it wasn't like a groundbreaking film. It was just a fun thriller. And that's what this was for me, too, with Angelina Jolie as a smoke jumper, a firefighter, and fire watcher in the woods, and she gets embroiled after, also dealing with her own personal issues, gets embroiled in a plot involving a kid who she has to help escape some killers who are involved in a plot with his father, and we won't get too much in detail to spoil anything, but if you like just a fun, exciting thriller just for a couple hours, just an interesting movie, check it out. I thought it was great. I liked the action. I liked the set pieces. I think everyone did a pretty good job in it. Angelina Jolie, I think, was fantastic. She's a very underrated actress, just because she, I think, most people will say, it's like, oh, she's just that pretty girl. They think of movies like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that remake with what's his name, Pretty Boy, Brad Pitt. There's a lot of crap like that, but even her more kind of generic action movies, I think, are a lot of fun. I really enjoy the Tomb Raider movies. I liked Salt, Wanted. I just think she is really cool in a lot of those action movies, and then some dramas like Changeling, thought she was really good in. Definitely think an underrated actress. Amanda watched recently, I still have to watch it, but she watched the two Maleficent movies, and she's really liked those, and she doesn't normally like her, so I have to watch those and check those out. But yeah, I just thought this was a fun movie that gets my recommendation. Again, no instant classic or anything like that, but just a fun thriller that, I'm going to watch every once in a while. Definitely one to have in the collection and keep. And I want to go over the special features in that too. It has some behind the scenes and things like that, which are a lot of fun. Anyway, so that has has been added to the collection recently for movies. And in case you missed it, I also did an unboxing for the new Arrow Video Special Edition box set of Legend, Ridley Scott's movie. Love that movie. And I keep talking about it because it's a beautiful box set. I really enjoy that. And there are a few more pre-order stuff coming in the next month or so, depending on how things are going, because everything's very, tied up with shipping and things like that. And also a lot of YouTube videos have been popping up. A lot of people that I watch with the Kino Lorber sale. I was able to get Babylon Berlin, but they also, Kino Lorber did a Rocktober sale where the stuff that I was looking at was anywhere from like 40 to 60% off, and free shipping for orders over 50 and things like that. Like a really good sale. Not sure when this video is going up, but that sale I think ends on the 26th of October, so it's almost over. Didn't get a whole lot because there wasn't a ton that I was looking for on my list that they had, but I was able to knock off a couple titles, and those will be coming in the next week or so. So I'll be seeing you then when that stuff comes around, and also Amanda and I have some stuff that we filmed we haven't put up yet, so keep checking back every day for a little while for new content.